Hi. It's me. I am back again, and will be back many more times. I think. Maybe. Hello, everyone. Whether you're watching this live or the VOD, I know I said that at the end, I also said it at the beginning, or at least I should. Hello, PPA. Welcome. Yihelule, as we say in Atlantis. I'm going to be honest. The starting soon. Hello, Hosam. Thank you. Thank you. Oh man, that takes me back. Yeah, right. Okay, first off, I am going to say that I don't really have like a list of topics for this stream. I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna do a comeback stream, and I'm just gonna do a little Zatsu, a little chatting stream, and you know what? Whatever comes, and I'm not gonna think too much about it. But yeah, that actually brings me to one of the topics that I wanted to actually address in this stream. This is the first stream that I'm doing after my streaming anniversary. It's been 1 year since I've been streaming as Kairi. It's been 1 year in August 27th. And I was surprised to learn that I'm actually an outlier. Apparently not many people last this long, and I'm like, well, okay, fine. Like when I started this, I was always thinking, oh, you know, I'm gonna do this like the people that I know and that I admire. You know, some of those people have been doing content creation for like over 10 years. So, so yeah. Actually, picking the starting soon music was super hard. Like, at the time, I was still learning the ropes. I was still learning the ropes. Like, I knew the vibe that I wanted. But it was so hard to get because a lot of people, like, like, I can't really say all that much because, you know, different folks, different strokes, etc. I'll read chat in a bit. I'm just gonna finish this train of thought. And what I saw most people do, at least at the time that I was thinking of starting to stream, was so different from what I wanted to do, like the entire vibe. Because most VTubers, usually they want to create, and again, massive generalization here. Most VTubers, they want to create, you know, these sort of like either cozy or somewhat like sexy, I don't know, environments. I hadn't seen anyone who was trying to do what I wanted to do, which was, you know, this kinda Egyptian Mayan-Katek thing. That for example, Adiyama's music wouldn't be out of place in. I hadn't seen that a lot. And when I went to like royalty-free websites to try and pick music, it was so hard to get stuff that fit the vibe that I wanted. Yeah. But I am really happy with the song choice. By the way, speaking of music, I don't know if you can hear it. I mean, the point of the background music is so you can hear it. I changed the background music a little bit today. Today we're not in Star Fox Adventures. Today we're in Final Fantasy X. I certainly hope that Square Enix doesn't have a problem with this. But I think that video game soundtracks are usually okay. Boom na boom na boom na boom. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, PPA. Yeah, like, when people told me, dude, not a lot of people go past like 2 months, and I'm like, what, really? Okay, cool. Cool. I'm gonna be honest, I was worried. I was worried that I would like run out of material before the 1 year mark. But no, I haven't. In fact, I've only thought of, actually having more material, and that's something that's going to go into like a different topic that I want to save for a little bit later. Now let me just engage in a little copyright infringement, I guess. Guess who's back again. Kairi's back. Tell a friend. Hi, Elmer! So good to see you, buddy. Oh, man. But yeah, oh man, it's been crazy. Both the fact that it's been a whole year since I started streaming on the regular, because I mentioned this before. I streamed a little bit before creating okay, like the kayfabe is a little bit off, I apologize. Expect the kayfabe to be very, very off. Very much off when I'm doing Zatsus. I'm working on that. But yeah, when I first started streaming on this app named Reality, and that was back in November 2021. And I did like it, and people seemed to like my presence, and what I had to say, and I just figured, maybe this is actually something that I should try doing, because I like doing it. People apparently like hearing me talk. Apparently I have interesting things to say. So yeah. Let's do this, man. Let's go all in. Achievement unlocked. Fell on the right side of the bell curve. In this case of streaming career duration. Yeah. Yeah. No, and like, oh man, like, I don't know, like, again, I don't know how many people are watching, but even if there aren't many people watching right now, if anyone is going to watch the VOD later, I want you all to know that I am so thankful for every one of you. No, seriously. I am super thankful that you found me, that you found something in my admittedly a little bit haphazard content that you like. You found a space that you enjoy being in. Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create this again, I've mentioned before, like, the feeling that I want to create is kind of like the feeling that you would get, going to like a couple of friends' houses and just, playing video games throughout the afternoon, after school. Or like the feeling that you get when you look at like old home videos, which is why I can tell you, like, unless something goes very, very, very wrong, and I'm saying something super duper very wrong, even if one day I stop doing this, I am leaving everything up. Like, that is a promise. Like, I have left a lot of stuff up that I am, like, not proud of, but I think that it's important to look back and remember. I don't think that erasing the past is a good thing, and I intend to keep it that way. Like, I just there's a lot of people who, like, when they stop, creating, I'm not talking just about VTubers, like other people as well, when they stop creating, they just, like, they decide, oh, I don't like anything that I've done up until this point, so I am just going to erase it from existence. I don't think that is correct. Like, I can't make any judgments about the people themselves, but I do not believe in that sort of mindset. No, you want to remember. You want to get better. In fact, I am not sure, because it's like right at the bottom of every one of my video descriptions, I do think that I have an expression. Hold on. I'm just gonna check. We don't want lost media. Exactly. Lost media is super frustrating. I don't want my channel to become lost media. In fact, I don't want anyone's channel to become lost media. Like, it's so sad when you realize that there has been so much stuff, like, especially because nowadays so much is digital. There's a lot more chances that something can be. There's a lot more chances that something can be copied and reproduced indefinitely. But there's also the chance that if something did not get copied, it's lost forever. That's one of the reasons why, for example, the Portuguese dub of Sonic Sat AM is so cryptic, because it only aired like once, and it was already during a time where videotapes were not a thing. And I don't think that anyone bothered to record it, and now it's off the air, and now it's completely gone. Like, yes, people can guarantee that it exists, but it's just their word. Like, we don't have TV guides anymore. We don't have any, like, registers. We don't have any records of TV schedules or anything like that. Like, there's no proof. There's no actual tangible proof that it existed. At least as far as I know, it's effectively lost media, and I don't want that to happen. I think that is super tragic. Like, so yeah. Let me check because I do think Oh no, I didn't make that change yet. Okay. I was going to say that I had a saying in Atlantean at the end of, like, my video descriptions. That basically translates to "May nothing be forgotten," and apparently I haven't made that change yet. I have to do it, but yeah. Yeah. I can understand selectively removing posts, uploads that can be compromising, doxing. Yeah, no, I understand. But nuking your entire old online presence under certain names and sites is... I understand your use of the word. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's that's why I've never erased anything. Like, if people really want to find out who I was before being Kairi, they can. I've never made it a secret. So yeah. No, in fact, there was that one stream where I actively did that. Like, you can know who I am if you watch that stream. I'm not gonna say which stream it was, but yeah, Like, you can know who I was, you can know who I was online, and you can even know who I am in real life. Kind of like it kind of doxed me a little, kind of doxed myself a little bit there, but it's like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care that much. Hey Zen! Hi! So good to see ya! But yeah, and don't forget teletext. Oh, right. Oh, teletext! Yeah, oh my goodness. The TV that we had before we got this smart one, still had teletext. I don't remember, like, I think it stopped working a few years before we, like, retired it. But I think that the reason why it stopped working was not because of teletext. You know, it wasn't the service that went down. It was the TV that was a little bit blah 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 blah. Yeah. Don't forget the Epic Mickey motion comics. I was lucky enough to have the Portuguese one, but the rest of them are lost except Spain and the UK. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, no, that yeah, no, that super sucks, man. I literally subscribed to you because we met IRL and your content seemed interesting. Yes, thank you! Like, when I mentioned it, I wasn't expecting, you know, actual interest. I just said, oh, hey, you know, I started this YouTube channel where I stream, and I'm an Atlantean boy. Like, when I said that, I really didn't think, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, people, I'm just gonna say this, but people are not gonna care, like, so yeah, but yeah, no, I'm happy that you, Belmer, thought that my content was interesting. I mean, it certainly helps that I know that we have some interests in common: classic cartoons, Portuguese dubs, that kind of, among other things. Oh, Archie Sonic, that's a big one. Teletext is still a thing in Portugal, mostly with RT. Oh! Oh, right. Right. Okay, no, that makes sense. I mean, RTP is the state television, so yeah, it makes sense. I'm proof that you were wrong about me and Alexa to some extent. Yeah. Oh, speaking of like other VTubers, I don't know if they're ever going to see this, but I would also like to extend congratulations to two acquaintances of mine. One is, what's his name? Dang it, Kurosami, who I met in my very first stream, which was the Among Us collab with Mado Cactus, who is an adorable little ray of sunshine, and if you don't know her, I definitely recommend that you check out her stuff. Like, I don't know if she plays a lot of indie games, but every so often she also plays some stuff that I want to play eventually as well. Like, for example, Klonoa games. I love Klonoa. I haven't played anything Klonoa related on stream yet, but that's gonna change. It makes me sad that usually, like, I don't really have time to catch other people's streams. But it's just, you know, I just leave. I love being in the sidelines, being, you know, like, yeah, we're doing this. But yeah, so Kurosami apparently started streaming around like a week or two before I did, and I had no idea. Like, that stream, like, that collab was also one of his first streams, and I'm like, dude! Dude, I had no idea. Like, I assumed like when I did that collab, I assumed that I was, you know, the only noob. You know, everyone else already knew what they were doing. Like, you know, they were experienced. They had been doing this for at least like 3 months, at least. So I just assumed, oh yeah, no, like everyone is super experienced. I'm the only noob. But yeah, no, turns out that that's not the case. And yeah, I think that in terms of zodiac signs, my channel and Kurosami's. Kurosami, by the way, he streams on Twitch. He doesn't stream on YouTube as far as I know. I think that he is, I don't know. I need to check. I need to check if he actually has, I think that they're non-binary. Yeah, okay. Okay, sorry Kuro. Sorry Kuro if you're listening to this. But yeah, they stream on Twitch. And I'm not sure if they have a YouTube channel. Even like for VODs or something. Another person who is one of my acquaintances on Twitter, and who I also know that is going to have an anniversary soon, is what's his name? His name is Emil. He's an alchemist. And I think he advertises himself as a femboy alchemist. And his avatar, like he looks a little bit like Venti. If you want like a visual, you know, Venti from Genshin Impact. And I don't know what kind of content he does, but he seems like a very nice guy. And apparently he also only started streaming like in early September. I think that it's on the 10th. So yeah, Emil, Kuro, I don't know if you're ever gonna watch this, but many congrats. We're same time of year anniversary buddies, apparently. Oh man. So yeah. But Seek and TVI's teletexts are in development. Only the subtitles are working. Oh, okay. Okay, like I don't even know. Like, do TVs nowadays even have like support for teletext? I know that the one for our old TV broke, but that was the TV's problem. It was not the teletext itself. So yeah. What was it that I wanted to seeg into? This is a very amazing segue, by the way. Right. So, speaking of my anniversary, I want to apologize for not having anything like ready, anything done to celebrate the anniversary. I really wanted to, but my life has been in a state of flux lately. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I've been talking a bit. Like, I kind of dropped off the face of the internet for a few weeks, because yeah, like I don't know if I mentioned this on stream, probably not, but yeah, I made a decision to move from the capital back to my hometown, which was a decision that I made for the good of my mental health, because I was just not happy with. I'm not gonna say that I wasn't happy with my job, but I wasn't happy with the time that I had to spend. Like, I wasn't able to stream, and you know this. Like, I had to stream only on weekends, and it was super tiring. It was super tiring. Like, a huge chunk of the day, I didn't even have that much work, so I was just waiting. I was just like at my post waiting to get stuff to work on. And then I'm just gonna say this. I had some co-workers that I really did not get along with. Which, like, the work that I do, I think I mentioned before, so I can say it again. I'm a translator. I'm a freelance translator, outside of the whole shaman thing. But yeah, so during the work hours, you don't have to interact with your coworkers all that much, but there's almost no separation. And then at lunchtime, you have to interact with them, and I really didn't want to, and it kind of put this, you know, dark cloud over my workspace. You know, like, add to that the fact that it was a full-time job. It was 9 to 6, with lunchtime in between. Then I got home. I was super tired. The commute, which was not that bad for the capital. Like, there's people who commute for like an hour and a half. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you can commute for an hour and a half. Holy crap. Like, But yeah, that added to the fact that I never actually felt at home in the city. Like, okay, the capital, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It has a lot of things to enjoy, but one, you have to have money to enjoy them, and two, you have to have time to enjoy them. Because you can have time and the money, because you can have time but no money, and money but no time. Which was my case. I was in a position where I finally had money to enjoy some of the things that the city could give me, but I didn't have time, like, at all. So, and all of that added to the fact that I'm still in a little bit of a weird mental space because I'm still kind of recovering from my father's passing. So I decided that it was in my best interest to leave. And I did, and I'm back at my hometown right now. But the thing is, the reason why I came back to my hometown was because I was guaranteed remote work. I was guaranteed, okay, you're not gonna work full time anymore. You're going to go back to being just a freelancer. And that is fine by me. I've been doing freelance translations ever since 2018. So I'm no stranger to that line of work. In fact, I like doing it. It is a little bit annoying sometimes, but but yeah, one of the main reasons that made me make the decision to come back was that I was guaranteed work. But apparently something's happened in the company, and now I don't know. I'm waiting for a call from my boss. I'll reach out in a bit. I'll reach out in a bit. I'm just trying not to lose my train of thought. It happens. It happens a lot. Okay. But yeah, so right now, I don't know. I'm a little bit scared, not gonna lie. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out, okay. Yes, they do. Proof that it's the smart TV from the camping site. Oh, okay. Okay, in a similar situation where work isn't challenging enough to feel fulfilling, but also too trying to leave to leave me with enough energy to do much afterwards. Probably going to do something about this soon too. Okay. Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm from... Oh, hello! Hello, Yuno. Welcome! I see you've been leaving a lot of messages. Konbanwa. Yeah, like, it's actually afternoon here. Yeah, konbanwa is, konbanwa. Okay, now I'm assassinating the Japanese language. Lovely. Okay. Dude, it must be a very odd time of day for you, huh? Well, thanks for being here. Anyway, and thanks for the compliments. And for the sub. Thank you for that as well. You want a VTuber friend? Oh, there's a lot of people like I don't mind. I don't mind. I just can't guarantee, swift responses. I'm a little bit how can I put this? I'm a little bit scatterbrained, is what I'm gonna say. But yeah, thank you for the sub and the like, and I don't know how long it has been since you started, but good luck to you. Rooting for you. I used to commute 30 minutes from my room to college by car. Things will be the same, but I'll go on foot. But I used to spend 1 hour... Oh my goodness. 1 hour using the metro and buses. Yes. Yes. See, that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that... Oh, it's stuttering? The stream is stuttering? Oh boy. Not much I can do. I hope it's not too bad. Okay, I'll just try. Okay, guys, if the stream really is, super laggy, then please tell me. Okay. How are projects assigned at the company? Could it be a case of we've already assigned the parts of ongoing? Oh, okay, okay. Yes, I am a bit that. I guess I am a little bit that, PPA, you're right. Okay, could it be a case of we've already assigned the parts of ongoing projects to other staff? I'm not sure. I'm not sure because the way that it works is that the freelancers work on a bunch of different ongoing projects at the same time. Like, I can't say much. I can't say much because I'm under an NDA. But what I can say... Yes, yes, I got it. Yes, I got it. I've seen it many a time. Also the little blue circle. Yeah. But yeah, in the studio that I was working for, the way that it happens is that ongoing projects, there's these ongoing projects all from the same company, and whenever new stuff comes, they call in the freelancers and the translators that they have on in-house as well, to do certain tasks. At the same time, you have other stuff that can drip in, as the day goes by. There's never any guarantee that you're gonna get work. When you're full time, you get your paycheck at the end of the month, regardless of the amount of work that you did. Basically, freelancers are the ones that are paid by word. By word. There's a set number of words in the English text, and every freelancer gets paid according to that amount. Which is a much better way of working than in other places where translating is a thing. Like, for example, getting paid 25 25 euros per, I don't know, per work. Let's put it like that. Joni, hi! Yes, I am back, and hopefully now for good, because holy crap. I am so, like, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. Like, I don't take these breaks because I want to. I take these breaks because they're unfortunately needed. And it kind of it's kind of frustrating because, again, I want to do things, I want to keep working on things, but like I keep getting put into positions where I just can't. And that's something that's also worrying me about this whole thing of not knowing if I'm going to go on with my job. I mean, I think I am. I hope I am. Again, because that was the whole reason why I left the capital. Like, I know that finding a job, especially for someone with my credentials, because nobody is looking to hire a shaman, like, it's much easier for me to get work in the capital, as much as that pains me. Because I've tried getting work in the cities closer to my hometown. It's hard. Like, there's not as much to offer. Like, you know, there aren't as many job openings. Second, there's this one city that I kind of wanted to live in, but I don't know what they have against me. Like, I've sent dozens upon dozens of curriculums to many different companies, and I only had like 1 or 2 interviews. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what's happening. Like, I even sent one that was like a shoe-in. Like, there was no way that, looking at my resume, that they would not, you know, at least want an interview. But they didn't. Like, they just did it. Like, I'm like, dude, how, what? Like, how the heck did you look at this and not even want an interview? Like, your neighbors from the same company who were in a different city, and on that one, like, and I didn't even live in that city. I don't have a house in that city, and I applied, and they called me in for an interview. And in this city, I actually have a house, and you didn't call me. Like, I don't know. I'm going on a little bit of a rant. Okay. I commute 50 minutes by car, fortunately with 2 days of home office, which we. Oh yeah, no, that's that makes it easier to bear. Taking notes about the work of translators for future reference. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're like, I can't really go into many specifics, otherwise, you know, like, because I don't mind people knowing who I am, but I do know, but I do mind killing my chances of getting work in the industry in the future. So yeah, while I talk about some of these things, you know, that might be a little bit. I try not to go too far. Sounds like a justified rant, methinks. Yeah, no, thanks. Thanks for the reassurance, Johnny. Really. If your only skill is shaman, just start a cult. Easy money. Yeah, I don't want to exploit people like that. Because I could totally. Oh man, that reminds me. That reminds me. There's a new Poirot movie coming out with Kenneth Branagh as Poirot. When I learned that it was him, I know that it's like a kind of a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express. And like, when I learned that it was Kenneth Branagh doing Poirot, I was like, you are not David Suchet. I'm sorry, this is so very specific. But yeah, like I think that part of it deals with, it's not a shaman, it's a medium, which is a little bit different. Like medium is a part of my skill set. That is true. But mediums and shamans are not the same thing. There's mediums who can't be shamans and shamans who can't be mediums. They work in different ways. But there are people who can do both. And that's not even taking into account seers and I was gonna say cartographers. Yeah, you know, the people who map out places. I'm just happy to know how it works inside the companies and not any specific project. Yeah, no. At least from what I know, when there's like a big project that requires a lot of attention, it's like they hire people from outside, people with like a lot of experience. And the people that they have in-house, they don't translate; they only review. At least in the company that I work in. I don't know how it is like in others. If you do it right, they don't feel exploited. That doesn't sit right with me, man. Still doesn't sit right with me. Speak too much, they will chase you down. Yeah, no, like if they find out that you've been saying mean things, which is one of the reasons, by the way, that I mentioned before that a few years ago, when I was thinking of getting into content creation, one of the topics that I was thinking of tackling was Portuguese dubs, actually going in depth and looking at the scripts, comparing them with the originals, and sometimes even with other versions of the same movie, like for example, I don't know, French, Spanish, Italian, German, whatever you can get, I could get my hands on. But one of the things that stopped me, other than thinking, okay, this is way too niche. Like, I know that I'm trying to do this, in a way that it'll appeal to people outside Portugal, but it's still going to be super niche. Like, I'll be lucky if my videos get more than like 20 views. But the other major reason was because I felt like, okay, if I want to give my honest opinion on things, I am going to have to be harsh. I'm going to have to take no prisoners. I'm going to have to actually, state proper criticism. Because there is a lot of criticism to throw at the dubbing industry in Portugal. But the problem is, a lot of people who work in the dubbing industry don't see what they're doing as bad. Like, there's a lot of different factors at play here. There's the fact that a lot of times the infrastructure just isn't there. Like, there are no means to actually produce something of undisputed quality. Sometimes the resources just aren't there, be it money, be it people. There's that. There's also the fact that there's a lot of different opinions inside the dubbing industry itself. There's people who think that they're doing the best job that they can, so they get kind of offended if you kind of throw it in their faces that what they did is not all that great. There's people who take it more in stride and who take it more in stride and don't really care. There's other people who also take it in stride, but they actually care and they know the problems that exist, and they don't bury them. Like, they're fully aware of them. There's a lot. There's a lot going on, and you have to kind of tread on eggshells, especially if you're someone who wants to eventually get in there. Like, if it comes out that you're the guy who said this and that about that person or that studio or that thing, then people are not gonna want anything to do with you. Like, I've already seen it happen. Like, sometimes on a more ground level, you know, with the actual people who are working, and sometimes off from higher levels. Like, I've seen at least one instance, I'm not going to go into details, but I've seen at least one instance of an actor that was blacklisted by a certain company for asking advice about their character to, like, a community. You know, like, I don't remember if it was on Facebook or Instagram or something, but I know a case of an actor who was blacklisted for asking for advice to people who knew what he was working on. And that, you know, when that is the thing that happens, and we're talking about an actor who was pretty well established, by the way. Again, I'm not gonna go into anything specific. Just know that the fact that this actor can't work in this company anymore is mind-boggling, and all because he wanted to do his job well. I don't get it. Oh, right, and exorcists who have to clean up behind all the aforementioned. Yep. Yeah, that's also in my that's also in my job description. I also do a bit of exorcism. I'm not a specialist in that regard, but I mean, it kind of comes with being, you know, like, one of the highest authorities, which I still don't know how I lucked into this, by the way. At least I have, like, you know, have a place to stay. Wait, what the hell? That's screwed up. Yeah, no, it did happen. So, yeah. All of this to say that, yeah, you really can't say much. You really can't say much in public about these things. Which is why whenever I talk about dubs, I try to, you know, to mince my words a little bit, because there's just a lot. Like, on one hand, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Did he break an NDA by talking about the role in public? I don't know. I don't think he did. I think that what he did was he hinted at what it was and asked for advice, and people understood what he was, but he never, like, I don't think that he actually stated what it was. I mean, if he did, then yeah, okay, that counts as breaking NDA. But again, I don't know if he did sign an NDA. Like, there's stuff, like, when I was doing my illustration job, I didn't sign any NDAs. Like, I was told verbally, don't talk about anyone about this. And I went like, okay, but I didn't sign anything. It was not in my contract, you know? So like, yeah, I didn't break NDAs then, but I could have, and they couldn't have gotten after me. I'm not saying that I would have, but I'm saying that I could have. Which is a little bit, a little bit, can't even really say. But I don't know if he actually signed something. Like, again, okay, that's what I was gonna say. Like, when I started working at this studio that I was working right now, I did sign an NDA. Like, that was the very first thing that they had me do. Like, okay, I signed the NDA, and, like, yes, I talk about some things that I've done, but I'm not going to talk about them here. Like, I talk about them, like, with my family, or if someone asks me directly when I'm like in real life. And I can only talk about things that are already out. Like, for example, oh, I worked on a press release for X game, or I worked on DLC descriptions for Y game. You know, like, I can talk about that. I can talk about that stuff because that's already out there in the open. in this case, I really have no way of knowing. Like, I could ask him. I could try to ask him, but I don't want to open old wounds, and I don't know him all that well. So yeah. Let me read what Elmer wrote. I'll be honest, I mentioned this once. Here goes nothing. One of the projects that I was thinking of doing is talking about the different voices that some characters have. I don't want to talk bad about certain dubs, actors, or studios. I might show some favoritism, but it's because of my nostalgia, or I try to justify it without talking trash and respecting everyone. Yeah, no, but that's different. But that's different. Like, if a character has had like 10 different voices in the same language, of course you're gonna have favorites. Like, for example, and I think that this is part of what you were thinking of doing. Like, for example, if you talk about Sonic, like Sonic never had a specific dub in Portuguese. Like, just off the top of my head, we have like 6 actors that played Sonic. So of course, one is going to rise above the others and become a favorite of, of who knows how many people. Like, it's going to depend a lot on how appropriate the voice is for the character, and that usually and that could have to do with like the people that the studio could get at the time, the people who are not on vacation. The sort of Tetris puzzle game that you have to do with the cast, because like the norm, I think the norm for some channels is 6 actors per series, and this applies to everything from shows that actually have only like 8 characters to shows that have like 100 or even more. Like, One Piece was dubbed with 6 actors. One Piece. So yeah, you can see the issues, but this again happens because of budgets and because of the infrastructure and because of the resources and all of that, and because some people care too much and some other people don't care enough, and but yeah. Hello, I heard Sonic, and you heard correctly. But yeah, like Sonic, for example, like almost every show had different voice actors for Sonic. It was only with Sonic Boom that things started like crystallizing into the way that they are now. And I think that I'm not sure. Like, Elmer, help me out here. Does Tails have the same voice, like in the Sonic 2 movie, as he did in Sonic Boom? Because I think that that's what they're using as a base. That explains the mess that was Dragon Ball. Yeah, because that was actually one of the first studios that started doing that. Like, okay, I'm going to actually go into a little bit of history of Portuguese dubs with this, and I'm gonna try to be brief because there's also other stuff that I want to talk about. No, Tails only had a solid VA in the first movie. Of course, because Tails is the one that people keep recasting. It's him and Knuckles. Why am I not surprised? And I'm not talking about Knuckles in the Portuguese dubs. I'm talking like in general. Like, he keeps changing voice actors. Why? Why can't you just stick with one? Like, what was wrong with Travis? Okay, I know what was wrong with Travis. He had to go support his wife, I think. But and then in Sonic Prime he has 2 voice actors, and I'm like, why? Why would you do that? What is wrong with? Okay, fine. Tails has a different voice in the movies. Yeah. But yeah, like, I can't really say too much because I'm not completely in the know. But the reason why Portuguese dubs nowadays are such a mess was helped in no small part by the people who dubbed Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and the Knights of the Zodiac, and a lot of other things along as the years went by. I just use these three as examples because chances are most people have heard of it, at least one of these. Knuckles and Tails get recast so damn often. Yes! Yes, it's frustrating. Which Sonic comic was it where Knuckles is respawned by the Master Emerald after he kinda dies? I think you're talking about the Archie comic. I think you're talking about the Archie comic. There was a part where Knuckles basically became a living Chaos Emerald, which they represented visually by having him be puke green. And I never got that. Like, why did they do that? That would explain the change in voice actors. Well, yeah, except this happened in the comic, not the shows. Not the shows or the games. The comics, as far as I know, don't have voice actors. Even though to this day, I still wish that there could have been like a show based on the Archie comics. Like, legit. Like, I want Darren Norris to voice Dr. Finitivus. Like, please. I won't take anyone else. Darren Norris for Dr. Finitivus. There, I said it. Shiny Knuckles, yeah. And of course, following the trend of all of my favorite Pokemon, their shiny form is green. Because of course. I don't get it. They're all Novaga projects too. Yes, because that's like I didn't want to use the actual name, but yeah, they're the ones who kind of ruined dubs in Portugal. They're the ones who started paying people really badly, who started, shrinking the budget for actors and everything else. They're the ones who also started not using directors, I think. I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, no, like when they started using their practices, of course, like the channels went like, oh, these guys do the work much cheaper. Let's call them instead of the other studios who actually worry about their work and actually pay their actors accordingly. So yeah, and I think that at the time nobody took it very seriously, because as far as I can tell, almost everyone who was there, as far as I can tell, again, almost everyone who was there had other jobs, like acting, for dubs was not their main job. So like the fact that they were paid less didn't really bother them, like that, at least that much. So I think that's what started happening. So yeah, of course, Donkey Kong Country was Novaga. Yes, yes, it was. And I do want Fernando Souza to voice Dr. Quack in a hypothetical PT dub with a mix with. Dude. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I haven't heard Fernando Souza actually speaking normally. I know that he voiced Donald. With his natural register in DuckTales, but I haven't seen those episodes in Portuguese. Like, I've only seen them in English. So I don't know. Like, my brother saw them. My brother saw a little bit, and he says that, yeah, you can tell that he is not, a full-time actor. Like, he can do it, but you can tell that there's something missing, and again, I'm not saying that, oh, you can only do dubs if you're like a real big actor. Like, I would be speaking against myself if I said that. I think that you don't need to be like an actual full-time theater actor to do dubs well. I will say it helps, but there are some things that have to come from the heart, Like, regardless of whether you have training or not, it has to come from the heart. And you can tell for some people if it comes from the heart or if it comes from the brain. You know? If that attitude carried over to Dragon Ball Super, the boy, that explains a lot. I think that it kind of did. Coming soon, a single voice actor who's good at intonation and emphasis voicing at all the characters, plus an AI voice changer overlaid. Yeah, no. Like, some actors are actually worried about, you know, the whole AI thing. But I think, you know what I think? I think that AI is going to probably take over for a while, but then the backlash is going to be so strong that it's going to be pushed to the depths, to the depths of Tartarus. Like, I really don't see, like, I see people who don't care about you know, about art, not minding it, but anyone who does is going to create massive backlash over it. And how can you not? It's completely unethical. So yeah. Not gonna say much about that. I don't want to talk about AI right now. I thought the same, no offense to him. Yeah. And by the way, what I said about it coming from the heart, those are not my words. Those are not my words. That comes from June Foray. And if you don't know who June Foray is, I know that Elmer knows. I know that Elmer knows who June Foray is. Like, if you don't know who June Foray is, she was the official voice of Magica the Spell. She was also Rocky the Flying Squirrel. I know, from Rocky and Bullwinkle. She also voiced a lot of women characters in, like, Looney Tunes. What? I think my cat is meowing. Oh no. I didn't say a word. I know. But yeah, basically she was voice acting. She has been voice acting ever since, I think, the early 40s, I think. And she kept voice acting until she died, which was, like, I don't know, 4 years ago, I think. 3 or 4 years ago. Something like that. And she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing, and she was able to access, you know, the youngins. The youngins. She knew her stuff, man. And that's something that I also don't get. Like, there's this whole thing of, oh, if you want to be a voice actor, you have to be like a theater actor first and stuff like that. Not everyone thinks that way. I know that not everyone thinks that way, including some people who are very well regarded in the industry itself. But I also look at some of these, you know, big, massive stars, voice acting stars, I mean, you know, the classics, like June Foray, like Dawes Butler, Paul Frees, oh man, the legend, Don Messick, Mel Blanc, even some people that, you know, Walt Disney got to voice in his projects. Yes, some of them were, you know, legit actors, but there was also a lot of people who got their chops in radio, and who were not, you know, full-time actors. Yes, they knew how to act, but their main job was radio. Their focus was on the voice. I think that Paul Frees was one of those who started in radio and then, you know, just expanded. But yeah. And the Disney and Looney Tunes incarnations of Witch Hazel. Yeah. 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was under the impression that it was like around 2018 or 2019, something like that. Yeah. No, I look at these people, you know, the classics, the people who made voice acting a thing, and And I just look at what goes on in like the dubbing industry in Portugal, and I'm like, there's so much. Was Pinto Colvig a radio guy? No, he was a clown. Pinto Colvig was a clown. Like, that was his actual job. I don't know, maybe he did radio on the side, but I am pretty sure that his main job was being a clown. Pinto Colvig, by the way, to anyone who's like getting here just now or is just wondering who the heck are you talking about, Pinto Colvig was the original Goofy, and he was also Grumpy from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He was an interesting guy. He was an interesting guy. Like him leaving is the reason why we have the how-to shorts with Goofy, because they had to find a way to use Goofy in shorts but not have to rely on Pinto Colvig because he, I don't remember why he left. Probably Elmer does. But yeah, no, that's the reason. That's the reason why they why we have the how-to shorts with Goofy. Yeah, but don't forget Jimmy McDonald, Wayne Allwine, and Tony Anselmo worked the sound effects and the animation. Yes, there you go. Those guys are exactly the kind of people that I'm talking about. Like Tony Anselmo was an animator. Jimmy McDonald and Wayne Allwine worked in Foley. So yeah, before they went into like, and you have Walt Disney himself. He voiced Mickey for a very long time, and he wasn't an actor. He was an animator. He was an animator. He was a director. Being a voice actor wasn't, part of his job. But enough dunking on the on the Portuguese dubbing industry. Mostly because Goofy's VA after Pinto Colvig wasn't able to be the near Colvig's voice. Oh, okay. I think Colvig had a falling out with Disney. Yeah, I know about that. I remember that part. I just don't remember what the falling out was about. Wait a second. Was it the animator strike? Was the animator strike the reason why Pinto Colvig had his falling out with Disney, because he sided with the animators? I mean, I'm speculating, I don't know, but the timeline is pretty on point. Because that happened in 1941, if I'm not wrong. I'll have to check. I'll have to check later. But yeah, it is a possibility, especially since if I recall correctly, Pinto Colvig was, one of those. He wasn't like a rags to riches story, but he was a rags to well enough for himself kind of story. Like he started with nothing. He pretty much had, that sort of that sort of life that, like, you have no idea where you're going. I think that he joined a circus or something. Like, again, he was a clown by trade. That was his main job. So I think that, so it's not too much of a stretch to think that he would side with the animators on the strike. Actually, the strike is one of the reasons why I say, yeah, dude, Walt Disney, he was a very interesting person. He was also super naive. Holy crap. Like, because when the writer's strike happened, like, not the writer's strike. When the animator's strike happened, he didn't understand why it was happening. He thought that as long as he acted like, you know, the cool uncle to everyone, that everything would be fine. It would be sunshines and rainbows and like, well, not exactly that, but that, you know, that there wouldn't be any big problems or anything. Like, because he was basically taking these people and giving them like a roof to live under. He saw himself as, again, this uncle, you know, this cool uncle sort of figure. So he couldn't understand why the animators were striking. He couldn't understand why they were against him. Of course, you know, if you know anything about human psychology, you know that just having a roof over your head and, you know, conditions to work in, you know, good, you know, basic conditions to work in, like, it's not enough. So when they started to, you know, ask for, you know, better pay and better conditions and all of that, he just assumed that they were a bunch of entitled kids. And his advisors didn't help, because they told him, oh, you know who it is that gave them those ideas? It was them blasted commies. It was the commies. They're the ones behind all of this. They're the reason why the animators don't love you anymore. They're the reason why they don't see you as their papa anymore. And Disney just went along with it. Okay, fine. Okay then. Blasted commies. Blasted commies. They corrupted my animators. I don't like them. I'm gonna hate them forever. So yeah, Disney, man. Such a brilliant mind, such a childish demeanor. Like, in other things as well. Like, oh man. I'm really not one of those people who go like, oh yeah, Walt Disney, he could do no wrong and blah blah blah. No, he could do a lot of wrong. He could think a lot of wrong as well. But that's because he was too naive, because he didn't understand that his actions have consequences. Oh man. Interesting. Kolvig also voiced Gabby and Bluto and Oswald. Remember when Walt Disney didn't want to see the footage where he was the reference for Mickey's movement for animation? No, I don't. Oh wait, there was another character voiced by Pinto Kolvig. It was that, I don't know if he's a dog or a cat, but he's in a bunch of Porky Pig. A bunch of Porky Pig shorts. Like, specifically Chuck Jones shorts. Like, from the late 30s, early 40s, I think. Like, there's at least two that I know that he's in. One that takes place... Oh, wait, he was also with Daffy in one of them. The Araquan Bird? I don't know about that one. The two that I know of are one where Porky is running a cafe and he's attempting to make pancakes alongside other things. But it's the Looney Tunes, so things go as well as you might expect. And the other one was like on a ship at sea. I'm pretty sure that he has a name, but I don't remember it. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that was a massive... That was a massive tangent. Okay, we started with Novaga, and now we're in classic cartoons. Holy crap. Wait a minute, I have the bootleg PT dub of that short. Yeah, I do too. I actually have the VHS tape. That's why I know the guy. And the only reason why I actually remember how he sounds like is because they decided not to dub the part where he sings. So yeah. But yeah, onto a different topic. Okay, going a little bit back. I'm just gonna use that as a little bit of a segue here. I don't know, like, I still wanted to do something for my anniversary, even if it's just, you know, like a karaoke or something. I liked the last time that we did. I liked the last time that I did the karaoke where I went like, you know, just give me songs to sing and I'll just be an idiot. I liked that one. So I don't know, maybe round 2 for the anniversary, or maybe intersperse it like with songs that I want to sing, and or maybe an entire themed karaoke, like okay, I'm just gonna sing songs from Pokemon, or I'm just gonna sing songs from Sonic, or I'm just going to sing like anime openings, or I'm gonna sing openings of shows from the 1980s and 1990s. Or songs from games. Even though that one is a little bit harder. But yeah, maybe I'll do one of those. We'll see. But also another thing that I want to talk about. I think I mentioned it on Twitter and on the YouTube community posts, that one of the things that I want to do is to rework my lore a little bit. And during this time that I wasn't active on the internet, I decided to try and go back and try to get ideas and write it down. And yesterday, I think that I finally have a working model of what I want. Again, like, the lore is going to stay mostly the same as far as like my you know, overall setup is I'm a shaman slash a high priest of some Atlantean. My lore is not deep enough. I need to fix this. Yeah. Atlantis sinks to the bottom of the sea. Yup. Yup. I'm sorry, like the pun. It's beautiful. Thank you, PPA. Sonic karaoke immediately puts its copyright strike fate. Yeah, no, like I think that Sonic, you know, Sonic Team, Sega are not, you know, that stingy with the copyright, like on YouTube. Like, yeah, you might not be able to monetize a few things, but again, I'm not monetized yet. So, and by the looks of things, I won't be monetized in 10 years, which, fine, I guess. Oh, but yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I've been reworking the lore, but the main concept remains the same. Yeah, like I was saying, I am a shaman slash high priest of a goddess who is interested in who's interested in future stuff, and I walk in on her once, and we kind of decide on a pact in which I come to the future, get all the good entertainment stuff, video games, movies, TV shows, comics, all sorts of nerd stuff, and then I bring them back, and I'm able to enjoy them both in the future, where I have like a host family or something, and back in the past because Atlantis has electricity, and we have this sort of mutualistic relationship going on. Most songs are safe, but some are landmines. Care to tell me which ones are landmines so I know which ones to watch out for? And in the meantime, I'll go on talking a little bit. Yeah, so that whole setup remains the same. Now, there's a few things that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep, like for example, the goddess being a bunny. I love that idea, but I'm not sure if it's going to be possible to go on with it. I mean, I can, find a way to make it work. It's just that with the rules that I have in place, it's a little bit time travel. Yeah. The one that immediately comes to mind is Frontiers Vandalize. I don't know which one that is, actually. Oh, because it's Frontiers. I thought you were talking about Forces. No, like I said, PBA, don't worry. I think I can find a way to. I can find a way to make it fit. because I can also say this. So yeah, my lore at first, the part that wasn't this. This is the part that implicates me specifically. But since we're talking about Atlantis needs its own lore, which is something that I don't think that a lot of people think about. But then again, I'm kind of a massive nerd for world building. So whereas some people would just say, "Oh, I'm from Atlantis. Hear me roar." I'm not like that. I actually want to know. I actually want to figure out where Atlantis came from. Where Atlantis came from, what is the deal inside Atlantis? How did it get formed? How is it going to end? Because yes, that's a part of the Atlantis story, unfortunately, isn't it? It has to end. Or maybe not, we'll see. Forces is fine, Forces is safe. Okay, good. Then again, since I haven't played Frontiers yet, I probably wouldn't go there if I did a Sonic karaoke. We'll see. But yeah, I'll keep it in mind. Vandalize, not okay. Atlantis came from Disney World, obviously. No, it didn't, because they canceled the ride that was going to be based on Atlantis. So Atlantis didn't come from Disney World. Actually, that reminds me, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to make up my own lore. Because, I mentioned this when I was playing the game, Atlantis, right? For the PS1. Which I still want to finish one day, but I don't know when that will be, because the game got to a point that was kind of tedious, which is sad. I didn't want to feel like that, but like the kids say nowadays, it is what it is. But yeah, one of the things that bothers me about Atlantis, as Disney portrayed it, is the fact that they decided to do the whole, okay, Atlanteans are extremely long-lived because of their link to the heart of Atlantis. But that makes it so that the whole thing of, oh, the king decided to erase all the history and all the registers and all the records, and nobody knows how to read. And I'm like, that applies for people who are like tiny little children, like Kida was when Atlantis went down. But there were many adults who survived, adults who knew how to read, who had jobs, who had, you know, who knew things. And you're telling all of those, like, it makes no sense unless you specifically say that, like, the heart of Atlantis, like, erased some people's memories or something, you know, like, it's a magical crystal, it's a magical super powerful crystal on the same level as, like, the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds and whatnot, which I know that there are spoilers regarding those things in Sonic Frontiers. I don't, like, I really need to play Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, like, you know, like in true magical gem fashion, they could have, like, used that to erase the people's memories or whatever, or their knowledge, you know, laser-guided amnesia, but they just don't. They just assume that nobody is going to question, how did all the adults also forget? And I'm not just talking about, like, you know, adults who would be, you know, very old people like the king, because the king was already pretty old when when Atlantis went down. He already had, you know, he already didn't look all that young, you know? Like, he would be, I don't know, 50, 45, I think, or the equivalent of that, because, you know, that's one of the things that you have to think when you do your world building. You know, things have to make sense. And when I look at that specific part of Atlantis, you know, the movie, because it's a movie that I absolutely love, but that is, like, the one thing that I can't get behind. Like, you can't have the whole thing of, oh, there's this massive civilization, and the people who live there don't remember what it was all about anymore. You can't do that if the people are still around, you know, the people who were around when it was a big thing. So, yeah. And the cancelled animated series that turned into a released sequel. Yeah, which I haven't watched yet. I'm kind of afraid. I'm kind of scared, honestly. Like, I always felt a little bit awkward around, you know, those continuations of animated, of Disney movies. Like, I think that the only one that I didn't feel that way was with Aladdin, and that was because, Aladdin and the Little Mermaid, and that was because I was too young to know any better. Like, so to me it was just like, oh yeah, no, it's the continuation of the story. Like, they're doing other things now, blah blah blah. But yeah. When I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, when it started, when Tarzan, for example, got that treatment, I found it a little bit harder to get behind. Like, I think that the only reason why I didn't find Hercules all that weird was because they decided to set it, like, within the timeline of the movie, not after. So, like, oh yeah, no, you can imagine that, you know, stuff like this would happen. Even if it is still a little bit weird, because, you know, there's things that are going to inevitably contradict what's in the movie, because you want your series to have, you know, poignant moments. So you're going to inevitably run into the same themes of the movie, and you have to be careful, blah 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 blah. So yeah. Better than outsourcing that ride to Ocean Gate. Well, well, yeah. That is 100% true. That was 100% true. Yes. Same with the Jungle Book 2 that I watched countless times before I watched the original. Oh man, that must have been a trip then. That was... that must have been super weird. Especially going from, like, you know, the super polished caps animation of Jungle Book 2 and then go back to Xerox for Jungle Book 1. Like that might cause a little bit of whiplash. Yeah, but The Lion King 1.5 or 3 is still my favorite. Yeah, mine too. Like, out of all the sequels, that is the one that I like the most. Like, yeah, it has issues if you try to actually fit it within the first movie, but I like it. I like what it does. I like what it does. It's, you know, fine. And I'm talking about animation again. Oh, wait. I'm talking about Disney again. God dang it. God dang it. But yeah, as I was saying, I managed to create a backstory for Atlantis that sets things up, because here is the thing. Here's the thing that most I don't mean to talk like you know, bad. I don't want to talk like anything bad about other VTubers. You know, we're all doing our own thing. But one thing that I don't see most VTubers do is, you know, actually construct like a world for their VTuber to exist in that you could, you know, use to tell stories in. And that's what I want to do. I want to have, you know, this that I do, you know, the streams and stuff, and I also want to tell stories. I still not sure how I'm going to handle those stories though, because one issue that I kept running into with my last big project of this kind was that there were like two different factions, two different sides that I wanted to develop that kept coming to blows with each other. Like, they were in constant conflict, and I just couldn't make them, you know, actually work. And that's something that I want to see if I can avoid with this new version of Atlantis that I'm working with. I want to set stories in it, and I want to, like, build something out of this, you know? Like, I think I talked about this before, but I want to actually, you know, whenever I say, like, tell stories, it could be, like, you know, written in written format or in a radio drama format or something like that. And for that, you need to have a well-developed world. You can't just go, like, on a general idea. Like, even if you're working with something, like, for example, imagine that this would be great if someone did it, but I don't know if anyone has done it. Like, you could have, like, for example, an ancient Roman VTuber, or a VTuber, like, from Pompeii or something like that, and they could, you know, just say, oh yeah, I'm a VTuber, I'm from Pompeii, or I'm from ancient Rome, and then, you know, and then, I mean, if they did that, it's probably because they like, you know, ancient Rome a lot, and they would actually want to go in deep. But most people would just leave it at the aesthetic and do not much else with it, you know? And that's not what I want to do. I actually want to create a world that I just so happen to be a part of. But yeah. Hi, Alexa! Sorry! Sorry, I was so distracted talking, I didn't look at chat. Oh man, so happy to see you here, man. I thought of what kind of VTuber I'd create if I ever did. No plans to, yeah. Not a VTuber, and I'm also doing the same with my version of Elbrabaus. Yeah. Came up with the idea of a character who's some kind of chancellor in a fictional ancient Oriental realm, who's very conceited and talks down on every other country/culture, which would be the framing for playing games. He visits other countries in game and scoffs at their barbary and backwardsness. Yeah. Like, I could have. That's okay. With story arcs like getting exiled over court intrigue and having to become a World War fraud. Oh man, yeah, that would be super interesting. Actually, I could have gone. By the way, I think someone subscribed just for fun. Thank you. That's something that I could have gone and that I could have done with myself. I could have gone like, oh, I am so like unattuned to all these weird things in the future, but I thought, no, like, I really do think that if someone from the past, if they were from like a sufficiently advanced civilization and they just found themselves here, like, yeah, it would be super weird at first, but I think that if they could get over that initial shock, that eventually they would start acclimating, and they would understand how things work. Like, for example, if cats and dogs, not all of them, but most of them, don't find like mirrors weird or TVs, why would someone from the Bronze Age find them weird? Like, they're humans. Yeah, it's stuff that's beyond their like realm of everyday life, what they're used to. But are you seriously telling me that you couldn't explain to someone from ancient Sumeria or ancient Egypt like how a TV works? Like, that would also depend on the personality of the person. Because you could have people who would be like, oh no, this is like, yeah, but you also inevitably would get those types that would be actually interested. Like, so yeah, and when I decided, oh yeah, I'm a shaman from ancient Atlantis, I went like, yeah, no, like, this is fine. this is fine. I can get behind this. Okay, I'm leaving this on lurk, but now I'm going to have dinner. See you all in a bit. Yay! Thank you for coming and have a nice lurk. I hope I don't scare you too much. But yeah, that's why I just looks at all the people with smartphones with broken screens. More clay tablets than papyrus rolls, huh? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I also wanted to play around with that thing. That, someone from the past could come here. And especially since, okay, kayfabe a little bit off. Especially since my character has a little bit of divine help. In the form of the goddess, who's no longer going to be named Una. Her name is going to change. I already know what her new name is going to be, but I kind of wanted to save that for when I do like a complete overhaul of the stuff. But yeah, I have the help of the goddess. She was the one who started coming to the future, getting all the stuff, and then going back to the past. Also, there's also that thing. My character, haven't just been dumped in the future and told to just get used to it. I had my patron goddess go like, oh yeah, see, all this stuff, isn't this cool? Like, wanna try it? Here, have a controller. See, your character jumps. On that, your character, you have that screen thing that's like a mirror, but it shows its own images instead of reflections. And when you press the button, your character jumps. Isn't that cool? Like, so it's a little bit different than, just spiriting away a person to the future. Like, it's more it's less taxing on the mind. Actually, smartphones as infinite scrolls makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Stop scrolling. Oh. Someone like with a papyrus scroll. Oh, okay. So yeah. But yeah, and I think that I'm tapping into some interesting things with the new lore. Also, like, just going to reiterate, one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to rework the lore is that the lore that I had before, with the Egyptian gods rebelling against Akhenaten and Atenism, that would only work like post Atenism, and Atenism, like the reign of Akhenaten isn't that far off, especially like not if you're talking like in if you're talking like in ancient history terms. That's already close to the collapse of the Bronze Age, which didn't end right after the collapse, but it's like it's close enough to the Iron Age that it's not that far off. It's not that ancient. I know it's weird. I know it's weird to say, but like the pyramids, you know, the big pyramids that everyone knows from ancient Egypt, like those were already ancient. Those were already 2,000 years old by the time Akhenaten rose to power. So yeah, like that's not all that ancient. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do that was because I wanted, oh yeah, like I'm gonna have crossovers with like Asterix and stuff. It's gonna be funny. But then I remembered, wait, that would not be possible because Asterix already adapted Atlantis, and I didn't like it. Yeah, if I don't want to go completely against Asterix canon, and not pull the there is another thing, which is a thing that people can do, but you know, that kind of runs into no true Scotsman territory, and I don't want to deal with that. So yeah. It's like when you take ritual hallucinogenic drugs, but the hallucinations are externalized in a mirror instead of in your head. that would actually be something that she would say. I mean, we don't like at the temple we don't really do the drugs much. There's other places in Atlantis where they do. There's other places in, you know, other temples in which, you know, yeah, that is a thing that they do, but that's not how we roll. That's not how we at the Temple of Una roll. Temple of Una, the name pending. Shiro, hi. Hi, so good to see you, man. It's been like forever. Good to hear your voice. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Other than the thing that I mentioned, and the moving, kind of kicking my keister. Other than that, it's been going pretty good. My sleep schedule has been all over the place, and I don't know, like sometimes it feels like I can't do certain things because I haven't done other things. But yeah, no, other than that, it's fine. Like I still have a lot of stuff to like get out of my room, and I'm still waiting on the furniture that I have at the capital to come back. Yeah, no, other than the fact that I don't know if I still have a job, things are at least they've settled down enough that I can start going like, oh yeah, no, I can start streaming again. Which is already super good because man, I miss doing this. I miss doing this, and I miss it, and I miss doing it like regularly, like, you know, just like once a week or anything, because I really don't like that. Like, I tried doing it only on weekends. Doesn't work. I don't like it. So yeah. Another thing that I want to see if I do, and yeah, and actually the whole talk about the job actually segues into this that I wanted to mention as well, because like one of the reasons why I was excited about, you know, okay, no, I'm gonna do remote work, I'm going to be able to live like at my mom's house, and I am not going to have to worry about bills and rent and all of those things. Like, I can just focus on saving money so I can then use it on, you know, other stuff, but also on stuff that I'm going to be using for streaming, such as a desktop computer that I can use to play the more recent games. You know, the ones that are more taxing on your computer? And also, that means that I would also be able to afford rigging for my model, and I would actually be able to become a real VTuber instead of just a PNG. Like, I'm not saying that I don't like being a PNG. What I am saying is that if you can be a VTuber, like, if you can have movement, because like there's a lot that I feel, you know, no, I'm not, I was thinking of going pre-built, and then if I learn a bit more, like get some and then, like, if I need to, like, customize it, because I know that, because I've heard horror stories on both sides of the spectrum. I've heard horror stories about people buying pre-built, and I've heard horror stories about people trying to build. So I'm like in the middle, you know? Like, I don't see each option as the best. Like, I see them as, you know, equally good and equally likely to go wrong. Basically. Yeah, but it is so I can play big games. Like, I don't need all the bells and whistles. I don't need to play like at the highest resolution, at the highest frame rate. All I need is to be able to play them so that it's not too annoying to see, and so that I can stream them properly. That's all that I need. I don't need, you know, like, I've mentioned that, like, okay, so in the studio that I'm working in, I translate video games, right? And there's some stuff that started showing up that I was like, who needs this stuff? Like, you know, stuff about, you know, some things that I think that Sony, for example, is implementing in their controllers and stuff like haptic feedback or stuff like that. I think that, like, Ratchet and Clank, the new one for the PS5, already has that, and I'm like, like, who needs that? Just give me a controller. Just give me a controller and, you know, a good game and a good story, and like, meh. But yeah, you mean the ones that eat up 100 gigabytes in your hard drive? Probably. I don't know. Again, I haven't been much into, like, a big PC gaming. In fact, I've never been. Like, I think that the biggest game that I remember playing when it was recent was The Incredibles for PC. And I do mean like The Incredibles, not The Incredibles 2. So that came out in like 2004. So yeah. Finished setting up my new desktop PC last week. Still need to hardware mod the GPU though. I don't know what that is. But good luck with that. I'm trying to look for a PC like that too, but I'm also stingy as hell. Understandable. Understandable. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I've been looking at prices. And, you know, at websites, you know, comparing budget PCs. Because, like, I'm not flush with cash. Like, I think I can say, like, I did get some money from, you know, the inheritance, because of my dad's passing. But, like, I don't want to blow the money, like, immediately. Like, because I could actually, you know, use the money already to get the PC, to get a rig, and to rig my model, and all of that, and to order all the fancy stuff, you know, like custom overlays, a logo. I can actually order a logo because I have an artist in mind, and they're not too expensive. So, but I kind of wanted to implement all, you know, those upgrades at the same time, so it's not, you know, all that weird. Which is also probably when I'm going to put the new lore into use. Let's put it like that. I'm probably going to lump all of that together. Unless I see that it's not possible because I'm just not making enough money and I can't afford the stuff that I need. But yeah, so basically a PC good enough that you can play the game smoothly, no need big quality setting, can be low or medium graphic setting in game as long as it works well. Yes. Like, for example, I've mentioned before, like the PC that I'm using now. This is a laptop PC that I bought in 2017, and it's not like top of the line. It's good enough that it can do what you're seeing. It can stream. It can play emulated games with close to no lag. But I can't play, for example, Genshin. I mean, I can play it, but it lags a lot. And Genshin is not even like one of the more taxing games on a computer's hard drive. So yeah, so it's been serving me very well, but I know that it's not going to be able to take, like, for example, live streaming with a VTuber model and gaming at the same time. Like, if I ordered like the rig for my model right now, yeah, maybe I would be able to use it for Zatsu streams, but not for actual games. Anything more taxing than just having Streamlabs open? No, forget it. You can't. Which is why it's really a shame, because I really like how my model looks, but I think that I'm gonna have to postpone getting the rig, you know, for later, because, like, if I can't get the VTuber model to actually work, then what is the point? Like, and I really think that betting on the desktop PC is a little bit more important, because it's also going to help me with other things. So yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of left chat a little bit. Still happy with my gaming laptop. I might need a new GPU, but only in 2 years, since this one is still fine even for today's standards. Yeah, no, that's something that it's great when things don't have built-in obsoleteness, like, you know, for 1 year, isn't it? You can build a pretty good gaming PC with cheap older parts if you don't need to play the newest games at the highest resolutions. Games that you or I think of as pretty new, mid-2000s, run smoothly, even on integrated graphics these days. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I really like if I knew someone in real life who I could, you know, count on for you know, advice. For that, maybe I would take the plunge. Also, that thing, you know, that people have nowadays, you know, the gaming PCs that they have, you know, all those lights and stuff, and I'm like, dude, like this could be in a Windows 95 case, and I wouldn't give a flying fig. In fact, I would even welcome it. Okay, yeah, let's bring back that you know, early 90s aesthetic, and then fill it with top of the line computer stuff. I tend to work on stuff like modeling, rigging, etc. myself. I'm just looking for a PC that can run that stuff as well as stream games without hassle. Yeah, like, again, you don't need all the bells and whistles in order to, you know, just do your thing. Like, oh yeah, okay, it's gonna look super good, but how can you afford it? Like, and like, if one day like my streaming stuff actually gives me money, which it already has. I already had donations, which still boggles my mind because, like, yeah, I set up a coffee, which, by the way, this is something that I also wanted to mention on stream so I can remember it for myself. On my coffee, I have that my goal is to get a capture card. I'm going to change that to a desktop PC. Because yeah, I can get a capture card, but if my PC is not powerful enough to capture the footage from said card, then it's kind of null and void, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to switch my my goal on coffee from, you know, the capture card to a desktop PC. So that also, you know, like if people want to by any chance donate any money, yeah, that's where it's going to. But again, I never ask people for money. Like, I am well off enough. Like, again, I have, and I don't need to, you know, beg. I don't need to beg for financial stability, basically. I mean, financial stability would be nice, but like, I want to make my own income. Like, like, again, I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose my job, man. I really hope that I don't lose it. But yeah, remind me to create a Pokemon evolution meme then when you finally have the rigging 3D model. The 3D model, like that might be like a very long way away. That might be a very long way from here. Because yeah, like when I'm talking about the model, I'm talking about the live 2D. Like, yeah, my motherboard has RGB lights, but I disabled them. They don't go well with the neoclassical wooden clad. True. Spam them super chats, chat. I mean, yeah, you could, but you can't. I'm not monetized yet. I don't have 1,000 subscriber. Which, by the way, yeah, I think that, like, last I checked, like, if by 1 year I have 200 subscribers, that means that I can expect to be monetized in 5 years. Again, like, I joke a lot about this, but Yeah, no, like, yeah, if people want to donate, yeah, that's fine. I'm not like asking anyone actively to do it. But yeah. What else? What else was I thinking? No, it really sucks because a lot of these future projects are completely dependent on me not losing my job, and it's frustrating. Like, I'm saying this now, and I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe tomorrow finally my boss calls and actually gives me news. Like, I don't know. I mean, progress isn't linear. You could have 1K next week. I mean, yeah, but that's not gonna happen because I'm not that's not gonna happen because I'm still not in a position where I'm able to, you know, create that sort of, you know, that sort of content. Like, and I know, and like, there's like, I'm not expecting to become very big. Like, it would be nice. Like, it would be nice to have more people and to know that people are interested in what I have to say and in my commentary and my sense of humor. But I'm not betting on becoming big. If it happens, it's more than welcome. To a certain extent. Like, I don't want to get like 1 million subscribers big. No, that's, dude, no. In order for that to happen, I would need to hire some help. Because I don't know if I would be able to like deal, but that's, you know, all I shouldn't be talking about this. I forgot what I was gonna say. What was it? My brain. It plays pranks on me. I hate it. Hopefully things go well with your job at least. Yeah. Oh, right. That's what I was talking about. Like, as far as I know, I could, like, you know, tomorrow my boss could call me and tell me, you know, either the good news or the bad news. I'm just... I didn't know, actually. I didn't know if talking about this would be a good idea, specifically because of that. Because I'm not sure how things are going to go, and that immediately kind of makes this stream as a whole into a little bit of a time capsule. But then again, that's already what happens. That's already what happens most of the time with my streams. Like, every little stream is a bit of a time capsule, documenting where I was at a certain point in my life during the time I was active. So, you know, par for the course. Hopefully you'll get good news. Oh man, I really wish. So, it's like, they gave me like 3 weeks. They gave me like 3 weeks to, you know, get my affairs in order and, you know, do the move and stuff. Things actually didn't go all that well, because again, I still have stuff that I have to take out, which means that, yeah, I am free, kinda, but I'm not completely free, which is why I still can't dedicate myself the way that I want to. I can start to attempt to, like, for example, I still don't have a dedicated streaming space, which is something that is going to be non-negotiable. Like, no, I want my streaming space. Oh, actually, that reminds me. One of the projects that I have, this is more of a how can I put this? This is more of a practical project, logistics project. One thing that I want to see if I can do is if I can turn my dad's office into a kind of media room, and also a streaming space. Because, well, my dad... I'm back. I had to talk on phone, but I meant to say 2D model, not 3D. My bad. That's okay. That's okay. I got it. As I was responding to it, I got it. Wait, he didn't mean that. But yeah, my dad kind of turned one of the rooms in our house into his own office. And I actually mentioned The Office at least once on stream, and it was actually kind of an annoying story, because what happened was that my mom wanted that room in order to have like guests come in, like, you know, if someone needed to stay overnight. Like we used to have like a couch bed in there, so that, yeah, people could spend the night. And gradually he started turning that into his office, and he didn't tell anyone about it. He just made the project himself, and by the time that we noticed what he was doing, because that was also the room where me and my brother spent a lot of like our 1999/2000 afternoons and evenings after school, because that was also where our computer was. That was where our VCR was. That's where we watched tapes and played video games, sometimes even played around. So yeah, and by the time that we noticed what he was turning that room into, it was too late. Well, this is kind of, I don't know if it's like insensitive to say, like, I don't think it is, but like, and he didn't even use it as an office a lot of the time. Like, he got this massive desk that served no purpose other than to make it kind of look like the office was, you know, like a consulting firm office. Like, you know, like you're on your end of the table, and another person sits on the other side, and you have your very important business conversations there. Yeah, but like, we never had like a chair for the other side of the desk, so to this day I don't really understand what was the point behind that, but okay. Yeah, since that room is not in use right now, I thought, well, what if I turned it into my office? What if I turned it into a place where I can have my VHS tapes, my DVDs, my players, video game consoles, video games, and of course a dedicated space where I can have my streaming stuff, my future desktop computer, my webcam, also future webcam. I don't have a webcam right now. And basically, yeah, turn the room into what I see a lot of gamers do, which is okay. Yeah, they have a dedicated room for, you know, their content creation activities, basically. Welcome back, Alexa. What did you miss? Actually, let me check when did you last? Okay, so we talked about how I want to get a desktop PC to to actually be able to stream with a live 2D model and all the bells and whistles. Well, not all the bells and whistles. I keep saying I don't want all the bells and whistles. Basically, I want a desktop PC that is good enough that you can play, like, you know, recent-ish games without too much fuss, but like, you know, not having to have everything like at the highest resolution, highest frame rate, all of that. Like, you know, just be able to play the game on a somewhat good setting and be able to stream and have a live 2D model active at the same time, basically. We were talking about that, and then I also talked about how I was a little bit nervous about my job, because I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but I'll just say it again. I was supposed to have started working on Monday, you know, like two days ago, but my boss is being a little bit weird, and she said that she would talk to me, but until now I still haven't gotten any word. So I'm a little bit worried for, you know, the future of my job, because like a lot of what I'm talking about, a lot of what I want to do also as a VTuber is well, it needs money. And I was counting on that job, not only for the VTubing stuff, but also other stuff, you know? Like, that was my plan. Okay, stay at my parents' house, since I don't have to pay rent or bills. I can, you know, just build up some nice money, and then I ordered the desktop PC, all the other stuff that needs to come with it, like the keyboard, a good-ish mouse, a monitor, because I need two. I already have one separate monitor, but I need two. Webcam, that sort of thing. But then there's also the whole thing of, yeah, you know, like I made the decision. I made a decision to come back because I was guaranteed that job. And I don't want to lose it because it's an actual job that I like. But yeah, and a lot of my future projects in terms of VTubing hinge on me having a separate job. So yeah, I only have a room that's essentially my version of Noon Markle's basement, in order where my office with the merchandise that I bought and my PCs and VCRs. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. I also wanted to have, you know, like figures and other assorted little knickknacks in there, you know. Like, I want to have some of them in my bedroom and some of them there, like, you know, so they can be with me while I'm working. But yeah, here's the thing, Kairi. If the boss doesn't call, you call the boss. Boss might forget about it or something, so please just keep calling your boss. Tell that you need to work, you made this deal, etc. Yeah, that's my plan. Like, if tomorrow she doesn't say anything, I'm going to call on Friday. Because, well, I need to know. I need to know, like, and even when I got out, like, it was made very clear to me by them that I was still part of the team. So now all of this uncertainty is a little bit concerning. So yeah. Oh, another thing that I what was the other thing that I talked about? Oh yeah, Alexa. The other thing that I was talking about was how there's this room here at my house that it used to be my dad's office, and I'm thinking of turning it into a media room, basically. I'm still not sure if I can fit everything in there, but it would be nice to like have this one place where, you know, all this stuff is supposed to go there, you know, the media stuff. So yeah, that's what happened during my internship. Oh dang. But yeah. Also, I don't know if you were here while I was talking about I mean Alexa. When I was talking about reworking my lore. Yeah, I remember you talking about it on Discord. Yeah. Yeah, I did. But that's still something that I don't think that I'm gonna be able to do it this year. Because there's still a lot of uncertainty. There's still a lot of uncertainty, like my boss put me in this situation. So yeah. But yeah, just like a Cliff Notes version of the other thing that I talked about. Yeah, I mentioned dang it. My brain is starting to give out. Yeah, basically I'm going to change my I'm going to. Oh, you weren't here when we talked about. Oh, right. Right. Yeah, Shiro. And also, Alexa. Yeah. But that was different. That was different. That was just about a bit. That was just about a bit of the lore. And by the way, I think I can talk about this on stream. Yeah. With the changes that I'm going to... Okay, Johnny. I mean, if I'm still here by the time you come back, you're always welcome. So yeah, that was about... That was specifically about my name. And for anyone who's wondering just what the heck I'm talking about, yeah, I am going to do that. I actually mentioned it. I actually mentioned it on stream already. So yeah, great minds think alike, Alexa. But yeah, I'm just going to say this. One doubt that came up was since I was reworking the lore, a few things about my brand, so to speak, did not make sense anymore. Namely, my name. Remember that I talked about how my name was based on how the Atlantean language was going to work earlier, which was, yeah, it was going to be its own thing, but some words and proper names would be derived from ancient Egyptian, since that was the base civilization, since that was the base culture that I was working with. But when I decided to cut the ancient Egypt thing out of it, that means that my name doesn't make any sense anymore. Because again, it was based on that. It was based on that state of things. And with the new rules, my name wouldn't come out to mean anything else. Until I tried to rework it, and now I actually have a way of keeping my name as it is. Well, kinda. Basically, my name is not going to change, but the circumstances behind it are going to. Like, I think I'm just gonna say it. Okay, so my name is going to be a thing, and the name that I present myself with is a simplified version, so that it doesn't become too confusing or hard to read. But all of that I'm gonna work when I do, you know, the whole overhaul thing. Told you, when you enter the server, you instantly share one brain cell with the rest of the gang. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I've noticed. By the way, what Alexa is talking about, is this server that we're both in. And, yeah, it's very small, but we're all doing kind of the same thing, and well, let's just say that I've already found people who are almost as obsessed with certain things as I am. So that is a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that was it. Let me guess, the loser. I'm not gonna disclose that information. I'm not going to disclose that information, Elmer. There was a reason why I was being dodgy about it. Because yeah, it makes sense for me to be dodgy about something. It doesn't make sense for my boss to be dodgy about whether I'm still gonna have a job at the end of the week or not. Okay. But yeah, I think that I don't remember if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about. I think I covered it. I think I covered it pretty extensively. Another thing I'm actually gonna say this. So you guys know that at least if you've seen my Twitter, I'm thinking of doing a Pokemon movie marathon. I absolutely love the Pokemon movies. I know that there's some good ones, some bad ones, some questionable ones. And one thing that I was thinking of doing after I finish would be a tier list. Because I know that tier lists are all the rage right now. I mean, if by right now you're talking about 2021. But yeah, that's something that I thought, you know what, maybe this is a thing that I should try. By the way, one of the reasons why I'm rewatching the Pokemon movies is because of my lore. Yeah. No, it's also because it's been a long time since I've, consumed any sort of story-based media in any, how can I put this? In any meaningful capacity. Like this last year, due to the circumstances that I was in, I wasn't able to watch a lot of movies or series. And I really think that it stifled my ability to be creative, because if you don't get input, like your juices can't keep running themselves, you know, your creative juices. So I'm kind of using this excuse, you know, okay, so I'm gonna do this Pokemon marathon, both to gather ideas, and to just get some fresh-ish input, just to let myself, you know, experience a bunch of stories, like, in one go. Because I haven't done that for a very long time. I think that, like, the only fictional works that I have looked at in the last year were, and I mean the last year, okay, so like from September to September. It was like Encanto, I think. It was Genshin Impact. And it was Strange World. Like, nothing else. Or maybe like a few bits and pieces here and there that I don't like remember. But those are the only like meaningful ones. And I don't have to tell you that that is like extremely shallow of a pool to draw from. Especially like I count Genshin Impact because it actually has a story. But the fact of the matter is, but Genshin Impact should not be used as an example for like anything, because it's super long. The story still isn't over, and like it is a lot of text. A whole lot of text. So again, not the best example. So that leaves us with Strange World and Encanto. And Strange World is it's a very weak movie, and Encanto can't carry the whole thing by itself. So yeah. But yes, PPA, I am thinking of doing like the tier list of the Pokemon movies after I watch them. I've actually figured out how long it's going to take. It's going to take like around 34 hours. And I hope that I can, you know, just put some days aside and say, okay, today I'm going to watch all of the original series movies. Today I'm going to watch all of the Advanced Generation movies. So that the marathon doesn't last forever. Like, and I should know, like, oh, by the way, bye, Elmer. I'm not sure how long it's going to go on, but probably not much. We're almost done. So, yeah, ekaze. Oh, the Oho was more in how they relate to the new lore. Oh, yeah. That is classified information, and I am not at liberty to reveal it. Well, actually, I am, but I don't want to, which is different. But yeah, no. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, because then if you see it, you can't unsee it. But I think that's okay. There's a lot of people who have made things out of other things. And like, the way that I have the new lore set up, I don't think that it's that, you know, I think that it's a bit on the nose on some things, but on others, yeah, no, especially since it's just backstory, you know? Like, it's backstory for Atlantis. Like, of course I can probably use it as, you know, a basis for other things, but yeah, no, mostly it's the backstory for Atlantis. It's fine. I last watched the Pokemon movies like 15 years ago and have forgotten almost everything about them. Well, there's a couple that you missed. just a couple. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the ones that I haven't watched yet. which are, now that I think about it, which are they? It's the, oh right, it's not that many actually. The X and Y movies, I haven't seen any of them, and Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which, I mean, I watched the original, so and the last one, Coco, or Secrets of the Jungle, I think that's the name in English. So yeah, those are the only ones that I haven't watched, like, at all. Because I actually tried to do a marathon of the Pokemon movies a few years back. I think that it was... I think it was when the last movie that had come out was the Hoopa one. You know, the second of the X and Y movies. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Especially since, for some reason, Pokemon is really one of those... It's one of those franchises that is, you know, like, super inspiring. I don't know what it is about it. What I do know is that it's been there from the beginning, and I do think that that's one of the reasons why it became so popular so soon. You know? Like, the games themselves are, you know, they're really good. I mean, glitchy as all heck, but they're really good. Even for the time, especially for the time, I would say. But the show, I don't know what it was about Takeshi Shudo's writing that it seemed special, you know? Like, you could watch the very first episode and know this is different. Like, and I think that that's like the sheer promise and the sheer promise of, you know, seeing all of these different creatures that if you didn't play the games you didn't know. And exploring this world. And I don't know, like, there was something about early Pokemon that had, you know, this sort of darkness inherent in it. There was this, like, shadow over the whole thing. Like, yeah, it was bright and happy and stuff, but there was also this sort of melancholy about the whole thing. And I think that that's one of the reasons why Pokemon caught on as much as it did, whereas, you know, some copycats never did. I mean, I can't really say much about, you know, a lot of copycats, because I know a few that were good in their own right. In fact, the only copycats that I'm thinking right now, they all have their own merits, and some of them can't even be called copycats. Like Digimon, despite the name, it's not a Pokemon copycat. If anything, it's only a Pokemon copycat in the fact that it also got an anime. But like, Digimon was based on Tamagotchis, or, you know, V-Pets as they call them. So it wasn't like virtual pets. So it wasn't the same thing. Like, for Digimon, the OG was something that already existed completely separately from Pokemon. Like, it's not something like, for example, Metabots, which, even though it doesn't deal with organic creatures, well, Digimon also doesn't, to an extent. It's weird. But for example, Metabots, the game was an out-and-out Pokemon copycat. There's no two ways about it. But the anime has a lot of merits. It's completely different from Pokemon. It goes in a completely different direction. But it also does a lot of cool things in its own right. And it also has that sort of darkness that I mentioned about Pokemon. Like, you have a character like Rokusho, and you have like the ending of the first season. I'm not gonna count, like, I refuse to acknowledge that Damashi exists. Because it did so much wrong. I mean, it had some good ideas, but man, you went about this all wrong, man. Okay, early Pokemon was magic, but then it went on for 100 seasons when it already started getting stale in the second. My favorite organic creatures are dinosaurs made entirely out of guns. Metal Greymon wants a word with you. He feels offended. He feels targeted by that. Wait, Metal Greymon is not even the worst. He's not even the worst offender. Machine Dramon would be more appropriate. But yeah, and then you had Monster Rancher, which to this day still is a huge influence. At least on my tastes when it comes to like anime and globe-trotting adventures and all of that. And again, and it also had that thing, like, there was this thing about, I'm not even gonna say anything about Digimon. Like, you know that Digimon was Pokemon's edgy cousin. And that was said by people who didn't see, you know, the underlying tones of Pokemon. Like, because, yeah, no, they were both, like, Digimon was more in your face about it tackling difficult things. But that's not to say that like one was inherently superior to the other. They were just very different. Oh, gun drama. Right, that's a thing that exists. Yeah. But yeah, oh, that was another one that I was thinking. Oh, then you have like the subset. Then you have the subset of the, you know, popular thing is actually serious business kind of thing, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Beyblade. Which, on one hand, I don't know if I would, you know, classify them as like Mon series. They kind of are. They kind of are. Oh man, where's my brother when I need him? Like, this whole talk about Mon series is something that, like, he likes Mon series. Like, a lot. he just doesn't get as much into them because a lot of them are like super kiddie, because there's a lot of them that have gone on that like we didn't get in the West. Like for example, there was this one thing called Future Card Buddy Fight that I know. There was also a Mon series kinda with trains that was actually, I think, sponsored by the Shinkansen company. You know, the official one. I think that Ayane Sakura voices the main character in that one. Ayane Sakura being, oh, what's her name? Uraraka in My Hero Academia, by the way. But yeah, like, those older shows, like, I can't say much about these more recent ones because I haven't looked into them as much. Oh, Dorakore, Dragon Collection, also is a thing that exists. But yeah, there was something special about how they did, you know, Mon series back in those days. Like, I think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the first one that kind of replaced the tones of the world itself with all-out character drama. Basically Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as I can tell, and like I will be completely honest, I didn't watch like the entirety of the series, but what I feel when I look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that there is not so much of a world where things take place in as much as a setting. Like, I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but like the world is completely like is completely sort of alien to what is actually going on. Like, I think, like, I know that they have, you know, the whole backstory with ancient Egypt with anime hair. Which, I mean, I'm still looking forward to the day where we actually find an ancient Egyptian painting with someone with the hair even remotely. Wait a second. No, I got it. Like, the pharaoh, Atem, he was not Egyptian. He was Peleset. He was one of the sea peoples. You know, the ones with the little flower feather crowns. A setting ambiguous, Japanese and or American. Yeah, like, because in Yu-Gi-Oh, what matters is, you know, just, you know, the things that the characters say and do, not the world around them. And again, maybe I'm being too harsh, because again, I haven't seen the whole thing, but I did watch like around 60 something episodes of the show, and I didn't get, you know, any feel for what the world was like. And even the reason why I was interesting, it was because of the characters. And the cards and stuff like that. I actually, there was a time where I actually drew my own cards. They were very dumb. What matters is the card games. Yes, I'm really good at card games, and that's all that matters. That's from GX, but same thing. And then you have Beyblade, which is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird because, like, it changed a lot as the years went by. But again, I do feel like it's a little bit like Yu-Gi-Oh, but it does veer a little bit towards what I was saying about the others. Just a little bit though, because I think that it only, you know, goes hard into that kinda, and even then it's not, you know, it's all still related to the spinners. Like on the last arc of the, I don't know, there's a difference between how Beyblade, and I do mean the OG series, you know, Beyblade, V-Force, NG Revolution. I can't say anything about Metal Fusion. I didn't watch anything. How this boss is parting the Red Sea with a Beyblade influence your new lore. Not very. Not much. I can tell you that. Especially since in my new lore, like the Egyptians, yeah, they're there, but they're not involved in the happenings. They're not involved in the important happenings. I mean, they are tangentially, not directly. But oh man, but that is something that it would not be out of place at all in Beyblade. Same thing with Inazuma 11. Oh man. In fact, that's something that I told my brother. As well as the Pokemon movie marathon, I also want to see if I can get back into, you know, some of those like anime that are, you know, kind of like for kids, but they're like completely bonkers. Like, oh man, this is like the most serious thing ever. You know, like Beyblade, Inazuma 11, but like, yeah, if like what you said, PPA, if it was Inazuma 11, it would have been with a soccer ball. Oh man. Which, by the way, there are Inazuma 11 movies. Maybe I should watch those as well. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for today, guys. a little bit tired because it's been a while since I've talked this much in one go. And again, I do think that I ended up saying pretty much everything that I wanted to say. If not, then I'll just, you know, before the next stream, like after the next stream starts, I'll just, you know, mention it like in passing while we're looking at the menu or something. So yeah. And again, thinking of doing I'm probably gonna do... Yeah, I didn't mention that. I'm probably gonna do the anniversary stream on the 27th of this month. So it's gonna be one anniversary and a month. Anniversary and a month. A month-iversary. Okay then. I really need to go. I bet you're tired. Can't even begin to imagine how I'll be on Monday. Oh, you're gonna. What are you gonna do? I mean, you don't have to tell me through here if you don't want to. But yeah, though, especially since I'm pooped. Okay. Okay. Before I go off on another tangent, I better just go. Okay then. As always, whether you're watching this live or the VOD, know that your presence is always appreciated. And see you soon. And as they say in Atlantis, Ekaze! Bye! Wait, where's the ending button? Oh, here it is. Okay, Ekaze! Bye! Scuff right at the end, yeah! Okay, I get it. I get it, Alexa. Vacations are tiring. Okay, bye. Ekaze.